Hey everyone, Brandon here from Ida Pocky, joined with Nick, who's the product manager of Protective Head and Face. Here at CCM, at your headquarters in Montreal, we have your incredible new JetSpeed FT6 Pro and FT6 hockey pant in front of us today. Before we get into the incredible new upgrades and features that you guys have implemented in the pant, how would you describe the fit profile and that style of player it's designed for?
Oh, absolutely. So when we're talking jet speed, really important to remember that we're talking about that low profile build, right? We're building this gear for players that want to book it, so players that are fast, that are agile, that can turn on a dime. I think a great way to exemplify is Connor McDavid. So when you look at Connor, he's really a fast skater, right? A powerful skater, really likes to move that puck. So we need to create gear that just allows Connor to be more of Connor, or allow that player to be more of himself when he's on the ice.
So incredibly lightweight protection that allow them to get as fast as possible.
Absolutely.
Right on. So we have the FT6 Pro, incredible new design called your Airtech thermoregulation system. So what is that design and how does it benefit the player?
Absolutely. So inside our hockey pant over here, so we got our Airtech thermoregulation system, as you mentioned, but the way we apply this system inside the hockey pant is through ventilation. So how do we apply ventilation inside? I'll give you guys a little quick sneak peek. So when we're talking about our pant, first thing you notice is the easy fit entry. So you notice how the pant just opens up real nice, and what's really great is for all those beer leaguers out there that might have a little more of that belly, gets a nice little fit inside that pant to make sure you get it on the first try. But get back to thermoregulation. So when you're looking inside the pant, what's really great is that the whole front of the pant is treated as a giant ventilation. So the whole front of the pant really absorbs that cool air. So when you're skating forward, backwards, you're really getting all that airflow inside. But once again, it's really great about bringing airflow in, but you actually got to give it a path. You got to give it a channel, right? So what we've done with this is with our dry foam technology on the side and our Airtech ventilation system over here, we created air channels. So what these air channels do is they bring the air in, but also give it a nice path to go through. So as you're skating, it creates a nice gap between you and your gear to allow that cool air to get all that hot air and humidity outside the back through our exhaust system that's all perforated to make sure that airflow passes through.
There's more than what meets the eye because pants, it's a shell that you think can never have airflow, but it's truly incredible how you guys designed this pant this year, having that air just drive right through the pant and keeping your body just much cooler.
Exactly.
I'm just loving it, and it just works hand in hand with the rest of the JetSpeed.
So you might not understand why it fits just right, but just trust that we went through all our science and innovation, right? We're doing the science behind the scenes to make sure that when you're putting on this pant, it is not a regular old pant, right? You're gonna actually feel these all these technologies that flow through you and all these great little innovations we're able to bring.
Now let's get into that protection package.
Love it.
Connor McDavid's still, taking a hit in Edition 1-2.
Absolutely.
So for that JetSpeed player who's looking to, get that elite level protection, what did you guys do to design that elite level protection?
So since we're talking about an elite product, right, we got to have an elite level of protection because these players love to move, but at the speed that they move, that speed, when you fall, when you get hit, it goes both ways, right? So we really need to make sure that when these players step on the ice, they're well protected out there because protection's great, but you need to have great fitting protection for it to work. So how do we apply it, right? We have a bunch of different technologies, but what's really important when we're talking about hockey pant is really talking about the plastic inserts and all that protection level around the cap area, because it's really the majority of impact will be on the front and on the rear when you're falling on the ice. So these are two key areas that we really need to have your premium. So when we're talking about our premium plastic, our premium protection kits, they're really applied on our top price point FT6 Pro to make sure the player is covered.
Awesome. And just to give a nod out to team customization, you did leave the panels open as well, correct?
Absolutely. So what's really great about this product is when you're actually putting your team embroidery on it, we're actually thinking about all these things that come into playing hockey. So when we talked earlier about an easy fit entry, when we're talking about the embroidery underneath, it's all meaningful ways of how we can make it easier for the player. So when he's playing with a team, you can actually lift the first part of the pant to get that nice little stitching inside to make sure it's even easier for all those players to get that custom side on it.
And you did mention earlier, fit is key.
Fit is key.
And the protection obviously just forms with the body in the pant, but it's locked on the waist with the belt.
Absolutely.
What design did you guys do with that
That's
belt?
actually a great question. So inside our pant, we have our anti-twist inner belt. So what this does is as you're skating around, that belt inside isn't getting twisted. So in more traditional pants, you might get that pressure point around the hip area from that belt twisting inside, because you're crossing over, you're skating backwards, all these different positions as you're playing hockey. So what our great design team and developer team really worked hard to create a belt that actually doesn't twist inside your pant. So again, maintaining that great level of comfort and protection inside the pant.
Now let's jump over to the FT6. Incredible protection, mobility, and a feather-like construction once again for that elite level player, but at a more approachable price. Could you walk us through the design and the protection package for the FT6?
Absolutely. So when we're talking about the FT6, we're still talking about an elite level air protection and an elite level of airflow. So when we're on the airflow slide, Airtech thermoregulation system through ventilation is still very much present, right? The whole front of the pan is still treated as a giant air gap, right? Where you get all that cool air in, and all these cool air will actually exit from the back with all that moisture, all that humidity, right? So we still have that great level of breathability story at a more affordable price in the FT6.
And how about that protection package?
So absolutely. So in terms of the protection package, you'll be more on the an elite side of the protection, right? So as we go down to this price point. But what's really great as the protection is that we still have premium plastic inserts inside to make sure that the player is nice and covered when he falls on the ice. And we still have our great protective tailbone piece behind. So for all these cross checks, all these impacts when you're falling behind, right? We still got you covered on that side with the FT6.
And so Nick, is there any other key standout features that the FT6 offers?
Absolutely. So when we're talking about the more of the hip area, we have our nice dry foam technology that's really important to wick away all that moisture and make sure that that airflow really has a place to go through and really an area to pass through. I think that's really important when we're talking about this hockey pant and also our floating tailbone. So what's really important is that when you're skating around the ice, the tailbone really needs to be fast and mobile with you, because when you're skating around, your body's moving with your crossover, so you need your gear to move around with you. And really last key point that I want to highlight on this one is the +1 belt. So what's really great is that our hockey pant is fitted with a +1 adjustability, so that when players are actually growing really fast, especially these younger players, right, that need that extra length instead of buying a new hockey pant, well, they can have one covered with our new FT6.
So you don't need the top line to get that.
Absolutely not.
Amazing. So Nick, I just want to say thank you so much for walking us through this incredible line.
Happy to be here.
And for you at home, if you want to get your hands on the FT6 Pro or the FT6 Pant, you can head over to icewarehouse.com.
See you guys.